Monday morning. Are you ready for this? This is part. I'll probably tell people just start watching this video from here, or I'll cut this piece out. I was sitting on my deck last night. I said deck, D-E-C-K, deck. I know there was a SNL sketch. So I was sitting on my deck yesterday and watching the sunrise. And I started to think to myself, there's two kinds of people in the world. There's people that love sunrises and there's people that love sunsets. And both of them can be right. And yet both of them can be wrong. Some people look at the sunset as bringing new life and bringing the day. And they look at the sun. They look at the sunrise as bringing new life and bringing in a new day. They look at the sunset as closing the day. And others are looking at that sunset as the start of something new and the resting and getting ready to move forward. So one of them loves the sunrise. That's when they're awake and charged. And one of them loves the sunset. It is when they are awake and charged. It is when they are the most connected to that element in their life. In this case, the sun. Now, are either one of them wrong? Absolutely not. Can you look at a sunrise and a sunset and look at it as bringing new life? Absolutely. Can you sit back to back with somebody looking at a different reflection of the same object and come to different conclusions? I used to think that we lived in a world where there was like one or the other. There was either you liked mayonnaise or you didn't like mayonnaise. The two kinds of people in the world. The two kinds of people in the world. I was discussing this with my wife earlier. There's two kinds of people in the world. One that likes Miracle Whip, one that likes mayo. My wife immediately said, "What if you don't like either?" And I said, "You're making my point. Stop it." But my point is, you have to have three. It's interesting that the Holy Trinity comes to us and is explained to us as three parts. So I think there needs to be three kinds of people in the world, and it doesn't matter what this thing is. But here are the three types of people I think there are in the world. All of them are equally important, yet all of them are equally different. There are doers in this world that get out there and get things done. They work. They get their hands dirty. There are dreamers in this world. They don't get their hands dirty, but they come up with ideas. So those dreamers come up with these ideas and the doers create those ideas. Both of them are equal, yet completely different. However, there's a third type of person in this world, and that is C, all the above. Both A and B, however you want to say it. The doer and the dreamer and the doer. The one that when they're not doing, they're dreaming, and when they're not dreaming, they're doing. So which are you? Are you the dreamer? Are you the doer? Or are you the person that's doing both and just trying to make everything happen? Well, here it is. Here's my advice for you. If that's what you're doing, if you're trying to make things happen and you have these dreams and yet things just don't seem to ever show up or never fall into place, my advice is do it. Find out what that dream is and do it. If your dream is to run a podcast or a YouTube channel, do it. However, let me give you some advice. Don't waste your money doing it. It's going to take a long time to build your channel, to build your persona. It's going to take you a long time to just learn how to use things. I've been doing this channel or prepping this channel for a year now because we started kind of thinking about it, really started doing the videos in August. But at this time last year, we were starting to kind of say, is this something I want to do? Still dealing with the depression, still coming off the pills, but saying, I really kind of want to do this. I kind of want to. And sometimes you just have to do it. If you don't do it, you're not going to make it happen. I showed this in one of my other videos. This is the microphone we started with. I had a little iPhone 8 that was in here that we started with. We use it in my daughter's mock studio now, so she can have her little podcast studio, which is actually right next door to this one. We share a wall. And yeah, so you got to start, even if it sucks, even if it's horrible. If you want to paint a picture, you can't paint a picture unless you put the brush to the canvas. You can't do anything until you take that first action. So what did I do today? One of my things is I'm trying to build this social media presence. I'm trying to build this channel. I want to start selling things for people. I want to have this type of impact on the world. I want to educate people for free. And while I'm doing that, I want to be able to provide for my family. And so this YouTube channel is a way I can do it. I can no longer cook a full meal, for 1,000 people, but I can sure talk sometimes, especially when you wake up at 4:30 in the morning after taking the COVID vaccine. I have a lot of opinions on things and I can keep talking forever and ever, which is why I decided the live thing is cool, but it doesn't go towards my channel as much. I really need to post these, but why not just do it? So today, in preparation for the live stream, I finally, after 15 years-ish of working with YouTube, because believe it or not on this channel, but we have another channel out there that's just been sitting there, and we have videos. I haven't checked their actual data, but who knows? Maybe they could be monetized if I just picked up that channel. However, there's some old videos out there, and so I might, I might just pull those videos out and throw them on a new channel so you guys can see how goofy Rachel and I were when we first got together. The point is, back then you had to take a video camera, then you had to take the video camera, you had to put it into the computer or into a flash drive, and then it took a lot. And you get this 2-minute video that took like 4 weeks to do. Now I can just jump on live and start talking. However, if you don't know what you're going to talk about, you can't just jump on live and just start talking. Otherwise, you're just going to be sitting here. It's like, hey, does anybody want to talk about anything? And you can't do it. You have to be ready to talk about things. Have some notes. So again, what was I doing to prepare for this show today? I was doing YouTube Academy. So after all these years, I finally took the YouTube Academy. And the YouTube Content Creator Academy. It took me about 45 minutes, but I really read through it. I went back and forth and really started to understand what content is allowed and what content is not allowed on YouTube. And I can tell you, as a parent who didn't like my kids being on YouTube Kids because of the way the algorithms work, I'm seeing a good reason for some of the rules that are imposed, even on content creators that I like. Now, I don't know. I'm not a YouTube fanboy. However, I enjoy YouTube. I love the setup. So that's where I want my presence to be. And that's another thing. At first, I said, well, I need to be on Twitter. I need to be on Instagram. I need to be on Venmo. I need to be on Parler. No, you don't have to be on any of that stuff. Just pick one. And I've picked YouTube, even though I spend a lot of time on Facebook advertising for my YouTube channel, and I do a little bit on Twitter. But instead of focusing on all these other contents, I just decided, you know what? I want to read all the rules. And that's when I stumbled across the Academy. You can read it. I mean, it's really good. It's a really good class. I'm going to read all the rules, and I'm just going to make my channel based on the rules that are placed before me. I can't speak to people that have 1 million followers because rules against them are different when they're enforced than rules against me when they're enforced. All I can do is speak for my own channel. So I'm not going to die on a horse trying to defend people that I don't know. So I decided we're going to keep this channel educational, and we're going to talk about current events and stuff, but I just don't want to talk bad about people. I'm not about the rage bait. So if you guys like what I'm doing, please like, share, and subscribe. When I do reviews, it's because I like things. I don't do reviews because just to get them. So you will see a lot of reviews on this channel, but it's because I'm using those products, with exception of, and I mentioned before, Starlink. Starlink is a new internet service provider, basically in the stars. So they've passed the beta trials. Now we're in the next phase of testing. So sometime in the middle of this year to the end of this year, we will get our Starlink and we will have upgraded internet out here. We are in a semi-rural setting. We get the pleasure of being able to be in the city in 20 minutes and the joys of being able to shoot a 22 off my back porch, and that is a great place to be, but we need internet access. So when we get that, we'll do the unboxing and everything. We're going to be talking it up. I really think it's a good thing. I'm excited about promoting interstellar travel. I can't believe that in my lifetime, I get to say, hey, I'm going to use a product that's going to help fund interstellar travel and send people to Mars. It's fascinating, man. I remember thinking it'd be cool to visit the moon. I no longer think that, but it's really cool that our kids will be able to probably do that. And so I watched this YouTube Academy. It goes over all the rules, and you get to take a test. It takes 45 minutes, and it will explain to you so much about why your content creators are getting banned. And what you're going to find out is a lot of the people you watch are breaking the rules constantly. And I actually missed a couple. I'm pretty good at taking tests, but there were a couple I had to go back and reread. The test is set up really cool. You can answer the question, you get it right or wrong. And it explains to you why. I mean, it's just instant. I mean, so you get your instant feedback. So it's not a graded test or anything. So you can change your answer. You can retake the quiz. It's just like 3 questions per category, 11 categories, and they go through harassment, copyright, all kinds of cool stuff. And it doesn't take long. It's really well put together. So, but there were a couple that I marked wrong. I was like, well, why did I mark that wrong? That doesn't make sense. Then I read their reasoning. I said, you know what? Yeah, I could have made that mistake because my upbringing, my nature, my nurture, what my life experiences are, bring me to a different conclusion to some things. But you know what? Now, after having seen that and looked at all those things, anything I looked at today, I don't think any of my videos actually violate any of those, because ultimately all the rules say be kind. Pretty simple. Just be kind. So as you look at your sunrise and say, I am right, this is the most beautiful thing in the world, and then that other person looks at their sunset and says, this is the most beautiful thing in the world, and you both start screaming that you're right and the other person can't be right. Well, guess what? That is what we need to work on out here, because we can be right based on our experiences. And when people say, Ben Shapiro is facts don't care about your feelings. Well, yes and no, Ben. And I listen to him. He makes a good point. But facts can be different for people. And I need to say this really clearly, and I'm kind of slowing down because I want you to understand this. It's not that math 1 + 1 = 2. It's not that perception of that can be different. What it is that perspective of our life experience to get to that answer. There's a great meme image of 2 people looking at a number drawn on the ground. One of them's at the top, one of them at the bottom. What you don't know is whether the number is a 6 or a 9. And one of them is convinced that it's a 6, and the other one is convinced that it's a 9. But as the viewer, there's no way to know which it is, which is right. And that's kind of the way we're living in society now, because we can't get to the point that we understand the truth because people don't want to talk about our differences and our life experiences, when brought together to truly talk about things, are going to make you uncomfortable, but they're also going to result in changes that make and respect other people. We've lost this point where the dialogue can't be different than what you believe. And you can't say this is a left or right issue. You can't say that because it's both sides. We have to sit back down and realize, and I say this all the time, it's not agree to disagree. It's not, people say, well, let's just agree to disagree. Well, that's not helpful. This is what you have to say and start to feel. It's that we agree that we disagree. Because when we agree that we disagree, we can come together and actually communicate and come to a place where we can agree. And those places that we don't, we can move forward from. Because the things that people are getting mad about are things that don't impact their lives at all. And challenge me in the comments. I'll just post this thing in its entirety. Challenge me in the comments. What good comes of not allowing people to embrace other cultures? Because when people scream that you can't culturally appropriate me, you make them lose respect for the culture. There used to be this old adage that parody is the greatest sign of respect, because if someone parodies you, that means you are impacting their life so much that they're thinking of you. But now it's come to a time where if you don't agree with me, that's it, because I've already set my mind. I have the facts. And there were many times in history where that happened. And just to go back, it's 500 years ago, the Spanish Inquisition, the Protestant Reformation, the Protestant Revolt, whatever you want to call it. When the church got mad and didn't want things changed, and this guy wanted things changed, and they decided they were right and these guys were right, that's when war starts. And that's when pain starts. Because the farmer and the tailor and the baker, none of that stuff mattered to them. What happened there in the kingdom, in the church, or whatever was happening there, the butcher, the baker, the blacksmith, all those people were in a community together. And they had each other's backs. But now with Twitter and social media, that's expanded our world so fast and made it so small, we think that this person that sits in an office in another state, in another wherever, has more impact on our life than that beautiful person sitting behind the register taking your money when you get your gas. So when everyone's thinking globally, start thinking internally, not locally, internally. Locally is great, but we have to build from within us. We have to love ourselves in order to be able to move forward and to love others. So my message today is to really sit back and wonder and think to yourself, am I a doer? Am I a dreamer? Or am I someone that's dreaming about the next thing I get to do? So I'm going to talk more about setting up a YouTube channel or whatever kind of business. I've set up a few different businesses, and unfortunately, although they were very successful, I had to step away from them. And I'm going to tell you why later on in the series, but I'm also going to tell you why those are the greatest things I've ever experienced and the greatest things I've ever done. We were able and blessed to move in and out of our businesses as we needed, not as we wanted, but as we needed. We were true, we were faithful, and our marriage survived 2020, and it's going to survive 2021 because we are committed to living internally and locally and then pushing out globally. So I'm going to talk. I'm going to keep talking. So I'm going to go feed the chickens and enjoy myself. I hope that you enjoyed this. I don't know when the next live show is going to be. It really depends on the comments and stuff. If you guys enjoy watching this, I will pull maybe a clip or two out of here. But really, I just want you guys to know I'm here. I'm praying for you. If there's ever something you want to learn, shoot me a message and I will be happy to make all the mistakes and help you learn. Wisdom comes from mistakes, and damn do I have a lot of wisdom. So if you don't follow me on Facebook, because this was just something I wrote, I said, to become wise, you need to make mistakes. But now we attack those that are wise for their past mistakes. Till next time, work hard, be kind, and have fun. And, I really want to learn how to end these streams without looking at there. So I'm going to look there and say, love you guys.